So, welcome to another edition of Gentle Somatic Yoga and Yin and other tools for releasing back pain from the neck all the way down, focusing today a lot on breathing also, and a little bit on nervous system regulation. So, it's going to be a good combined class full of all sorts of great tools for you. So I thought I would start just with this neck release stuff that I've been doing, which has been really helpful for me. A lot of us hold our tension in our necks, and we try to do this all the time and this, and it kind of works for about 3 minutes, and then it doesn't work after that. And what I've learned is really we've got to work on a lot of the muscles that are affecting the neck first, and then you can concentrate on the neck. But if you're just loosening up the neck, but it's your shoulders or your, believe it or not, hips or your rib cage that are getting involved with your neck pain, then it's just going to go right back. So we do need a strap if you have one, and a belt would work as well, as long as you can buckle it. And lots of blankets today, and a bolster if you have it, or pillow, as well as blocks. So we'll start without the strap first. So one of the things that a lot of us don't do properly is actually the rolling of the shoulders. So I wanted to go over that first. And a lot of us do kind of like, so we get this part of the back involved, or we jut our head out. So we want to work on rolling the shoulders that actually first uses this muscle, which is the upward muscle, right? And that's on the inhale. And then this muscle back here, the shoulder blade. So pull it back. Try not to get the rib cage popping out or the neck doing something weird. And then it's just relaxing. So the third part is really just a relaxing. So this is effort up, effort back, relax down. Inhale on the effort up. And see, I already noticed I did something weird with my head. So it's, notice if you're doing weird things with other parts of your body. Inhaling up, exhaling, use the muscles back, release. Inhaling up, exhaling, use the muscles to go back, and release. Inhaling up, exhaling, use the muscles back, and then release. So if you're practicing shoulder rolls during the day, that is a better way to do it, to release the neck, rather than, a very exaggerated or whatever kind of accessory muscles you're involving. So the next thing is your hands are going to be facing down. And I want you to just cross them like this, maybe 3 rounds, and then turn the hands upside down. So now your palms are facing up, and cross them like this. So again, this is something you could do daily, those of you who have neck and shoulder pain. And just notice, again, no that, right? No jutting. Keep the range of motion within something that feels safe and nourishing. Go back to the upward motion. So what we're doing is we are really lubricating and safely working the neck and shoulder muscles in a way that then will allow us to possibly release more. Okay, go ahead and shake that out. Now, the next one is one that is very helpful. You don't have to have a strap, but if you have a strap, next one can be super helpful to have a strap. And the reason I'm doing these today standing up is so you feel afterwards like how your feet feel and how the rest of your body feel when you move in an appropriate way, in a safe way. So the important thing with this is try to get the thing kind of flattened out. You want this looped over so you have about a shoulder width of a strap. So right across the shoulders it would be. And then you take it behind, well, you hook it around one arm on the forearm, not the bicep. And then you hook it around the other arm behind your back. So now I've got this little loop behind my back, and my arms are by my side. My palms are facing up like this. And really, you could just hold this just like this, you know, or you could slide the arms back and forth a little bit. So I'm just going back and I'm going forward just a touch, which is a little more engaging of the muscles. And it's also a great way to notice if one side is working harder than the other, one side feels a little more discomfort. So just hold this up just for a moment. And then when we release this, I'd like for us all to find some sort of wall, doorway, or something where you could do just a wall sit, just to lean back against the wall and see how the back of your body, including your neck and shoulders, feel. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Easier said than done. And find a space near your wall. And where you put your feet is up to you. It depends on how much you want to squat down. So you might be squatting just a tiny bit, or you might be squatting more and trying to see if you can comfortably put your head against the wall, your shoulders against the wall. Just notice, and we don't have to stay here long. Just notice with all these parts against the wall. And one thing you might want to do, and it's helpful for me because I can see myself in the on the camera, is to kind of notice anything. I'm noticing one of my shoulders is slightly dipped below the other one, but this is also a really good thing just to notice. And then stand up, and then we will do just some simple neck stretches. So just drop the chin to the chest and draw the head up. Drop the chin to the chest and head up. Drop the ear toward a shoulder and head up. Drop the ear toward the other shoulder and head up. This time lift that shoulder, the first shoulder, drop the ear, drop the shoulder, head to center. Lift the other shoulder up, drop the ear, to press the shoulder down, head to center. Turn the head gently toward one side and back to center, the other side, and back to center. Let's do a few more of those shoulder rolls. Shoulders up, shoulders back, release. Shoulders up, shoulders back, release. One last time. And then let's stand maybe against the wall one more time and see if there's a little more comfort. Like my head went back closer to the wall without as much effort this time. Last time I had to really purposely put it back. So this is kind of a diagnostic tool you can use for yourself day in and day out. And these tools were taught to me by Susie Hatley, and she's a yoga therapist and a kinesiologist who I'm training under right now. All right, so let's come down to seated. And what I have been noticing with doing some of these things, these kind of therapeutic things that are not, they don't take very long, but they are incredibly helpful. Like I'm not getting as tight or painful during the day. And even if I'm doing like repetitive tasks, like I've been organizing papers and I'm sitting in weird places, but normally I would have felt horrible after a session like that for several hours. But doing these little therapeutic things has been very helpful. Okay, let's move into a breath practice, which is a very simple way to reset your nervous system any time of day, anytime you feel like your nervous system is going off. And it involves sipping in 3 breaths. So it's like hold, hold, hold. So you're holding it and then releasing it all at once. So it's a 3 sip in with a hold between each sip and then a release. If you feel comfortable to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. Now, after your last sip, you should not be at 100% capacity on the inhale, maybe somewhere between 70 and 90%, okay? And your hold is very individualized. That's why I'm not giving you a count on the hold. Some people, if they hold too long, it actually creates anxiety for them. So only hold the appropriate time for you. So just settle in for a minute and check in. Just check in. We've done some upper body work and we've done some breath work, and just see how you're feeling. All right. So we're going to do a lot of work on the ground now. So this is a time where you want your blanket to pretty much cover the mat or wherever, whatever surface you're on, if you need to be able to slide more easily. And make sure you have all the other supplies you like to use nearby. You can have a strap nearby. You can have your blocks, extra blankets nearby. So just set up so you're not having to get up until it's time to get up if we want to. And once again, the purpose of the outstretched blanket is for ease of sliding limbs. We do a lot of sliding in somatics, and a lot of our mats prevent us from sliding comfortably. So this way you're able to slide a little more comfortably. Okay, let's start with knees bent, heels on the ground. If you need something under your head or neck, it might be better to do layers, like a tier, rather than just a neck pillow if you have enough blankets. So if you were going to tier your neck for comfort, you would have a big blanket, and then the next level blanket would start maybe from the waist up, and then the next level blanket might be from the shoulders up. So you're making a tier rather than, just something completely under one place. So you'd be something like this, and you might have to adjust this. So it's just not too extreme of, tilting up or tilting forward. And then you really have to figure out under your hips as well, just to get everything situated. So once you're situated on the ground, let's begin to imagine we're a rocking chair or a swing, and just gently start to rock forward and back. Your arms can start comfortably by your side. You're just rocking. And you're already noticing when you're rocking, are you feeling this more on one side than the other? Can you make small changes? It might be the width of your legs. It might be how close or far away the legs are from the body to bring a little more comfort to this rocking movement. Sometimes it's making whatever movement smaller and staying in a smaller range of motion. Now we'll add a little bit more to this. Draw your hands behind your neck to support your neck. And this time, when you rock forward, draw the chin up a little bit. Let your arms, back of the arms, hug the ground more. This time, when you rock your hips towards you, draw the elbows in toward each other. If you're able to, without pain, you could tuck the chin and slightly draw up. And then go back down again. When you're down, your arms are feeling like they're hugging the floor. Your chin might be slightly up to the sky. You're pressing a little bit into the feet. The low back is slightly off the ground. You're going through neutral. The elbows are drawing together. The chin is tucking, and the amount that you go up is very individualized. So now stretch one leg out. I'm stretching the right leg out and keeping the left knee bent. And we're going to still do this rocking. Rock, chin up, back of arms to ground. Tuck chin in. And this time, maybe draw a little bit over toward that bent knee. And then come back down. Repeat this one 2 more times. Chin lifts, arms are in the back of the ground. You have a little arch, probably more on the left side. Lower the back, draw the arms together, slightly go toward that left knee, and come back. Let's release the arms. Allow that knee to gently go over your midline. So now you have a little bit of the back of that left side coming off the ground, and then coming back toward the middle. The knee points to the sky. Let's repeat that. If you want to, you could even turn your palms skyward as you do this. You could have your head look back toward the left side as the left leg crosses the right. You're doing this super slowly. And now briefly, go ahead, if you're able to, either stretch both legs out or bend both legs with feet on the ground, and just check in. So we've worked one side, and we want to now do a comparison before we work the other side. So in between the sides, let's bend both knees and do 1 or 2 right to the middle. Hands go behind the neck again. And when you're rocking away, the backs of the arms are hugging the ground, the chin is to the sky. That's all on the inhale. Coming through neutral. On the exhale, the elbows are slightly coming together, chin tucks. Your rib cage and hips are slightly closer together. And then release, up again, and toward each other. And now, since I think we had the left leg up, keep the right leg up, stretch the left leg out. And the next time we're going to do the rocking, we're going to do it with one leg stretched out, one leg bent. So you're lifting up, backs of the arms to sky, chin up. You might feel a little arch under the back. Now the back closes that space. The chin tucks, the elbows come toward each other, and you're doing a slight twist toward that bent knee. Coming back, slow, soft, subtle movements. Chin to sky, back of arms tucked toward the ground. You have a couple of arches now in your back body. Now the back is flattening toward the ground. The chin is tucking, the elbows are reaching. Let's do that one more time. Use your breath, inhaling when you have the belly full with a little bit of arch. Exhaling as the elbows come together and you do a slight twist. Now allow the knee to cross, you can release the hands, the knee to cross the midline. You could turn the palms up when you do this. Keep the movement smaller than you might think you can do. Oftentimes we can do a larger range of motion, but that does not mean we're moving without pain. So shrink the range of motion to the size that there's no discomfort, because that's how we repattern the nervous system to feel safer in the body and to get a new groove made. This becomes the new groove. The groove is safe, comfortable movement instead of powering through pain. Go ahead and stretch things out again. And you could, if you're able to, lay flat with something under the knees or just laying flat. Let's check in, see how our body's feeling at this moment. Now, this next one is a little bit of core work. And so you're going to have to modify this based on how your back is feeling. So I guess step one is, can you lift your knees and legs off the ground? Not draw them in, just lift them up. So you're almost like you're sitting on a chair. And then press the knees slightly away, bring them slightly in. So you should feel the activation of the core here. Press the knees slightly away. Keep this range small. Don't, because if you get it big, you're then going to get the shoulders involved. You're going to get the neck involved. We want to feel this right here, right in our core. Okay, now place the left leg back on the ground. Keep the right knee towards you. And we can just start by lengthening and bending this leg a few times. I'm pointing at the top, flexing at the bottom. That's called nerve flossing. Now, before we go into a twist, what I want you to do is I want you to activate the muscles of this leg. And so the leg is pressing away as the arms are pressing toward. What we're doing is we're contracting muscles first and then twisting. Now, I can't get all the way over, and you're going to decide if you want your hip to go over with you. Some of you may prefer to keep the hip on the ground. Whatever you need to do here. So once you get into this twist, I want you to do that thing we just did again, whereas your leg is pulling down and your arm is trying to pull it against. What we're doing is contracting the muscle first to then release the muscle. So it's a little awkward and it might take a little bit of experimenting, but the point is these are safer twists, particularly for your psoas. If you pull against the leg, so my leg is going away from me, and then I'm softening it into the twist. Now, the other thing you can do to avoid pinching is take a hand and place a hand somewhere up on the thigh. We're trying to keep our opposite shoulder down on something, which means if the ground is not working, you're going to have to stuff some things underneath there, like pillows or something underneath, and maybe even a support completely behind you. So, for instance, you could take an entire bolster if you need that. Now, on this side, I don't need that. My other side, I do, because this doesn't feel right. But you may need to elevate the ground to have your shoulder be able to lean on something. So this is our first yin pose. So you're going to find some way to find comfort. Now, if this is super uncomfortable, you can literally just be on your side and get a twisting action by drawing the leg a little more forward. Okay, so our first held pose. And while we're holding, I wanted to read you something about our nervous system. This is called the Nervous System Workbook. And here's the thing about the nervous system. There are 3 determinations you need to make with yourself, with your nervous system. It's about, am I safe? But here are the ways you're asking yourself. Am I safe inside my body? So is there something signaling unsafety there? Am I safe in my interactions with others? So that's between you and someone else or other people. That's the second way. And then the third way is, am I safe in my environment? So there's 3 things to check in on your nervous system all the time. Safety internally, safety between you and others, and safety in the environment. And each of these pathways is continuously taking in information, looking for signs of welcome and warning. So once you realize that, then you can figure out, okay, if I know my lack of safety is internal, then what do I need to do to feel safer there? If I know my lack of safety is somehow between me and somebody else, what do I need to do to change the way I feel there? And then the third one, if my safety's in my environment, what do I need to do there? All right, so let's very gently, completely, in between, instead of being on the back, let's completely take our time and roll over onto our bellies. Now, I showed a few of you this way of getting onto your belly the other day, which is not appropriate for everybody, but some of you might enjoy it. So I'm getting onto my belly by I'm rolling to the left, but my right leg is up. My right arm is supporting that leg as I completely roll over toward that side. And then I'm shifting onto my belly. My other arm is under my head briefly, and this leg's off to the side. Now, you don't have to get on your belly that way, but it was a neat groin stretch for me that I really enjoyed. And then I'm just going to release that strap and go into half crocodile with my knee off to the side for a moment and rest here. So you might have to move your little props that you made for your neck out of your way to come up into a Sphinx pose with the leg off to the side first. And then you could release that down. So the next time you do the Sphinx pose with the leg off to the side, you could tuck your other toes in of your straight leg and engage those muscles. Release the muscles of that leg, uncurl the toes, and come on down. And then 3, go up one more time, and come on down. Make a pillow with both arms. Release the leg. You might want to bend both knees and gently windshield wiper side to side. Now we have to do the other side on the belly before we go back onto our back to do the other leg. So draw the left knee, I think, for most of us, up to the side. Create whatever arm position allows you to get into a back bend safely. Some of you might like your arms out in front. Others of you might want to cross your arms on top of each other and try that one. Make sure that you are working this in the center and lower part of the body and the back, not necessarily in the shoulders and the neck. So come on down, whichever one you were doing, and release. Go back up again. This time maybe tucking the toes in, engaging the opposite leg, drawing the other knee off the ground, feeling your muscles engage. So when you get your core involved, it does less to pinch the lower body, and then go on down and release again. And then tuck in one more time, draw up in some fashion, whichever Sphinx pose you are enjoying today, whichever is within a smaller range of motion than maybe you feel you can do. And then go ahead and release. Release that leg down. Windshield wiper side to side. And then we have to do our twisting, well, our leg up and our twisting series to the other side. So you guys just have to roll over. I'm going to turn myself completely around so that I can still be facing you. If you need a drink, take a break for a drink. I'm thinking I do need one. And then setting up for one leg going up on the other side. Okay. Too high up. All right. So back on your backs. And let's see. Let's see if I was laying that way. I think Hold on, I got to figure out. I think I had my left leg up. If somebody wants to unmute themselves for a minute, did we have our left leg bent in or our right before? Trying to remember since I turned myself around. Maybe it was the right leg bent in. I think so. If anybody, if I'm doing this wrong, if I'm doing the same leg, please let me know. So if you remember, we brought a leg in and we lifted, pointed the toes, and lowered and flexed the toes. Lifted, pointed the toes, lowered and flexed. Lifted and pointed, lowered and flexed. And so this is the time, or as we're preparing to get into a twist, where we have our leg kind of pull against the arm. So the leg is kind of trying to force itself out a little bit while the arms are pulling in before we go over into this twist. And what that does is it contracts the muscles first before we release the muscle into the twist. And then you can actually do that again when you're here. You can have the leg being pulling down as your arm is trying to bring it back towards your body. Again, this is to safely release these muscles that are constricting the twist. Now, how much you draw your pelvis over with you is based on what feels comfortable for you. And on this side, as I noticed before, this side, my shoulder is far from the ground. The other side, it's not. So I am going to need more help with another blanket or something behind that shoulder to raise the ground up. So tucking something behind your back to allow your shoulder to be touching something, not on the ground. And you can place a hand up here on your hip to prevent pinching. And then let's settle into this twisting action, which is so good for so many of our meridians. Also good for our psoas, and because the psoas is part of that pelvic bowl, and the pelvic bowl is very related to the diaphragm bowl, which is related to the shoulders and the neck. This can really help in all these different parts of our body. So let's go back to that focus on sipping the breath in while we're laying here. 3 sips in with a pause after each sip, building up to about 80% of your capacity, 80 or 90, and then letting it out in a stream of an exhale, hopefully through your nose. Your hold, again, is very individualized. So since we got out of the last one by going on to the belly, if anybody did this thing with the tie, we want to be even. We don't want to do it just to one side. So if you didn't do this thing, then you don't have to worry about this again, but if you did, you want to be even. So you're going to lift a leg up, hold your hand inside the strap, roll away from that leg. So now that arm is out to the side, your leg is out to the side. You're making a pillow with your hand. You're, for a moment, stretching out your groin. And then releasing that. And we're all going to end up in a seated position. So if you didn't do this way, you can just make your way slowly into a seated position. If you are on your belly momentarily, you might want to do a little bit of movement on hands and knees as you're transitioning to seated. And let's all find our way into a seated pose to do a mudra practice. Well, first let's check in. Okay. So I want to, while you're checking in, I want to read you a little bit more on neuroception. So what we've been practicing today, at least when it comes to detecting signals of safety, is known as neuroception. And neuroception is getting in touch with the cues your nervous system is giving you in three areas: in the inside, the environment, and between one another. So what's so important about your neuroception is we often base our decisions on neuroception without being aware of it. And it can be faulty based on past experiences. So a question you might have to ask yourself as you're checking in inside, between people, and your environment, is this based on something happening now, or is this based on something that happened to me before? And so if you start to recognize these internal cues, and you can calm yourself either with that breath practice or some of the other tools that you already know, then you're more able to succinctly determine if there's a real threat or not, or if this is just a threat based on a faulty neuroception. Okay. So anyway, the mudra I wanted to do today, just because I like this mudra a lot, it's called the Stream of Serenity. It's the Vayan mudra. And the way you set your hands up is you touch the tip of the thumbs to the tip of the index finger and middle finger, thumb to index finger and middle finger. And the other two fingers are just kind of sticking out. So, and then you can just lay that somewhere comfortably on your lap. And just for a moment, breathe and notice where you're feeling your breath with your hands in this mudra. If you're safe, feel safe to do so, close your eyes. This is the Vayan mudra, and Vayan means vehicle of the air element. And this is a great mudra for cardiovascular health. So as you hold the Vayan mudra, take a few breaths to attune to all the feelings and the sensations awakened by the gesture. Notice how the breath is flowing smoothly along the entire front of your body, instilling a sense of comfort and ease, as if your breath were a soothing stream of serenity, increasing the optimal flow of circulation throughout your being. So see if you can notice this for a bit. Just breathe and see if you feel this breath flowing up and down the front of your body. Allow the stream of serenity to nourish your heart muscle itself. Sense it beating calmly and easily. As your heart beats more smoothly, a sense of relaxation and ease flows outward throughout your bloodstream, optimizing your circulation to both relax and heal each part of your body. Begin by sensing your inner stream flowing down into the legs and the feet, bathing these areas with nourishment and healing, while increasing the circulation to your lower extremities. Allow them to soften and relax completely. For your next few breaths, sense your pelvis and your hips infused with enhanced circulation. Experience this as healing and nourishing energy. Allow these areas to become softer and serene. Relax more deeply. With circulation flowing smoothly throughout your lower body, your inner stream continues its journey, nourishing your abdomen and low back. Allow these areas to soften and relax completely as circulation is increased. Your soothing stream now flows into the solar plexus and the mid-back. Allow the entire middle region of your body to be nourished completely. Now this stream of optimal circulatory energy flows gently into your upper back and chest. Take several breaths to allow your heart and lungs to be fully nourished and to deeply rest. Now the stream of optimal circulatory energy is going all the way to your shoulders, your arms, and your hands, all the way to the fingertips. They're being filled with healing energy. Your circulation is being enhanced. You might even experience some tingling throughout your upper extremities. Your stream of healing energy is now flowing gently up into the neck and head, nourishing your jaws, your eyes, your forehead. Take several breaths to sense a soft smile naturally spreading across your face as you bathe these areas in optimal flow of circulation. Now, as your softening stream flows softly throughout your entire being, you sense your heart becoming even more calm and serene, allowing you to relax deeply, completely. You're fully nourished in optimal circulatory energy. Affirm the optimal flow of circulation by repeating the following 3 times, aloud or silently. You can always make up your own too if you have something that resonates more with you. As circulation flows optimally, I'm completely nourished in healing energy. As circulation flows optimally, I am completely nourished in healing energy. As circulation flows optimally, I am completely nourished in healing energy. Release your hands, maybe move the fingers around. Take your time and gently blink your eyes open. And while we're sitting here, let's just do our arms. I want your arms to go in a circle, but again, this might be a smaller circle than you normally make. So you might be doing this, but you might also be doing this. Make your range of motion so that there's complete comfort in this. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Maybe it's just like this. Inhaling up, exhaling down. We'll do one more thing back for our shoulders again. If you still have your strap available, um, it's you just grab here. I just want you to actually just go as far as no pain is caused. So maybe it's here and down. Maybe it's here and down. You're trying not to jut anything else out. You're just trying to move. Use your breath. Go ahead and lower that. And have your thumb touch your index finger. Make kind of a circle in front of your body. And just imagine you're pulling the strings apart and you're drawing the strings together. Again, gentle movement, not too much. And lastly, let's do our shoulders. So the shoulders go up. Shoulders draw back and release. Shoulders go up. Isn't that interesting? I can't get my shoulders to go up evenly. Shoulders back and release. Shoulders go up. Shoulders back and release. Shoulders up. Shoulders back and release. And I am going to ask you one time to go lean against that wall before you go into your Shavasana. So take your time, get up in any way that feels safe. You might even walk around a little bit and then go do one more wall sit and see how things are feeling. Well, actually, I think I do want to walk around a little bit just to test out my hips and shoulders and all that work. And then come back to the wall and just see. Take a couple of breaths here. You don't have to go lying back down if you don't want to. You're for your Shavasana. You can. You can sit in a chair. You can be on your knees. You can be in a child's pose, just whatever feels appropriate for you right now. And I need to find my final book. I think I'll turn. Okay. Ah. Okay. I think I've read this one before, just because I know if I really like it, I fold the entire page down. So in case you've heard it before, sorry, but maybe it still speaks to you. This is called At Home in Our Skin. Anything that removes what grows between our hearts and the day is spiritual. It might be the look of a loved one stirring their coffee as the morning light surprises their groggy eyes. It might be the realization while watching a robin build its nest that you are only a temporary being in this world. It might be a fall on ice that reminds you of the humility of your limitations. The aim of all spiritual paths, no matter their origin or the rigors of their practice, is to help us live more fully in the lives we are given. In this way, whatever comes from a moment's grace that joins us to our lives and to each other, that's spiritual. For example, I was having coffee the other day in a cafe, and suddenly, from the rain of noise around me, there arose a word of truth in the exposed voice of a stranger whose face I couldn't even see. I didn't know her context or her story or whom she was revealing herself to. I didn't even turn around to see her face, because in that moment there was a perfect beauty in our staying anonymous. I only felt simply and deeply that without her ever knowing, her moment of pointed and unexpected truth made me more at home in my own skin. The life of spirit is everywhere, in dust waiting for light, in music waiting to be heard, in the sensations of the day waiting to be felt. Being spiritual is much more useful and immediate than the books about books would have us think. So in the last minute, center yourself, and as you breathe, realize that your spirit fills your life the way your bones and your blood fill your hand. As you breathe, realize your life fits the world the way your warm and living hand fits a glove. And as you breathe, feel your spirit fill your skin, and feel your skin fit the world. Of course, Sophie had to bark throughout all of that, but oh well, that's my life. The spirit of my life involves my dog. Signals the end of our time together. Wherever you were, go ahead and gather any parts of this practice that were particularly helpful to you today. Hands to heart. Let's acknowledge each other and say namaste.